can we will decide at the end of the call whether we can actually post it somewhere or not, right? So let's just have the discussion now. So again, the four buckets of skills that you can think of in marketing is again content, design or brand, then there is uh,
Analytics.
numbers or analytics, and then there is operations. To revise operations, some examples of operations are coordinating with an agency, setting up tracking, uh, coordinating between teams like sales marketing, sales product, or product marketing, and let's say copywriting team. So just all that coordination. Basically, there isn't something set up. You're given something. The instructions are usually vague, and your work is to figure out what the instructions are, create a process, and if possible, automate it. And if
Right.
not possible, then sort of like work as the bridge so that nothing is breaking, right? So
Okay.
that is operations. Analytics, I think straightforward. If you love a sheet of numbers, that's analytics. Brand, or design, right? You should have a very good sense of design and a very good sense um, of just like an identity, what all is part of a single identity. And then the fourth one is content, and content is basically just, you know, expressing yourself. And the content or communication, right? I think the better word would be communication. So communication would be okay, like everything from like copywriting, um, blog writing, all of that, product marketing. I would actually put product marketing also under content, right? So
Okay.
all of that stuff, you first need to figure out, okay, what is my natural inclination towards, or if you don't know that, what do I want to explore, and try and spend some time figuring this out. Now the best marketers in the world are above average at all four, or at least three, and are very good at one.
Right.
Now, let's say you pick one, right? And we'll go through all of them. Let's say you pick content, right? So for content, again, there's a lot of stuff you can do, but then you can actually figure out, okay, what are the career paths that I can think of? You can become an email marketer, you can become a copywriter, you can become a content marketer, and in each one of these, if you're looking at it, right, there's like content is the core, but then there's something else. For example, email marketer, it's email and a bit of operations. With content marketer, it's like creating content and then distribution. With copywriter, it's again content plus a bit of analytics and understanding, okay, where does it go, and figure out the conversion rate and stuff. If you then, and I think the no matter, so when you go to content, try out all of these different paths, and then uh, you either become something like a product marketer at the end,
Okay.
and then you become something like a head of content, and then a CMO, or a head of communications, and then a CMO. Like that's your basically paths, your career path. So it just becomes like there's a lot of options, and then they sort of converge. And I'm the only one who says product marketer is somewhere at the top of the entire pile, because yeah, it's a my definition of product marketing is very close to what a lot of CMOs do in their full-time jobs.
Okay.
So that's why I keep product marketing at almost at the top of the pile of stuff that you have to do.
Okay.
So, and then let's say you pick analytics. Then again, there's a lot of stuff you can do. SEO, I think, is a very analytical kind of thing, right? So the analytical part of SEO is analytical, or performance marketing, managing ads and all of that. All of that falls under analytics, because the micro skills are the same. Are you able to look at a large sheet of numbers and be able to point out that, hey, this is what I need to work on, or and then tell a story based out of that, dig deeper into it, and then just make it very easy for, if you can see like 100 numbers on the screen, point out to one in like 5 seconds without getting overwhelmed by it, and then tell a story and figure out why did this happen and come up with next steps, make it actionable. That is the micro skill. Yeah.
So we can say that if a person wanted to become an attacker, he should be having an attention to detail, right?
I'm not sure. So but
So,
yeah, maybe most probably,
so
right?
as per your definition, who could be the person who is good at analytics? Yeah, the numbers is a part is a good, but you never know, na. There is nothing like if a person is good at math, he should be good at numbers also. There is nothing like that,
Agreed.
right?
Yeah,
So
there
as per
isn't.
your experience, as per your knowledge, who could be the person who is into analytics? And right now also, everybody's like, even the startups are at fast pace, right? Even at an individual
Yeah,
level, we are
yeah,
looking for what is the best thing, and we'll definitely go into this opportunity so that it doesn't go with like slip out of our
yep.
hand. So how we can be at that pace to diversify, like learn, like explore all opportunities and grab that opportunity, that that function is my function and that is something I can do for the rest of my like 3 years, 4 years
Yeah,
down the
yeah.
line.
So I don't have an answer to that. For example, you asked for attention to detail, right? So attention
Hmm.
to detail is in general a good to have thing for everything. In content
Right.
also you need attention to detail, in analytics also, and in operations. So again, that's like a good mindset or a good, I don't know, like a skill to have or a personality trait to have for any marketer.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not saying that okay, for analytics, if you have good attention to detail, go here or there, because you can go anywhere. So I don't know how to break it down or how to identify this apart from you just going out and trying everything till you find something. And this is my definition of passion, something that you can do for long periods of time without getting bored.
Ah, true. True.
So that's
That is a
basically
true
passion.
mantra.
Yeah.
So if we talk about Ishan, does this function come into terms of money also? Because at the end of the day,
You
many
can earn doing
50% people
anything.
are thinking that if I'm go to product management role, I can get make a good amount of money if I go to this marketing. So
You can
are
earn
there
money
any,
across all four.
we can work across all four,
Yes,
right?
that doesn't
So
matter
we
at all.
should at the long, we should more focus on the skill set and the amount of knowledge we do have and what value we are putting in that function, right?
So just pick which one of these do you want to make your strength,
Super strength,
and
right?
then become above average, and slowly, like over the period of career, become above average at everything, but make sure you're a freaking master at that one thing,
Okay.
right? Again, if you look at brand, and we've only missed out brand, right? So for
Hmm.
brand, again, or design is like, again, graphic designing, video, like just like, okay, how should a video look, right? Or what are the feelings? Social media, into social media, again, there's like a part of social media which is very brand oriented. And then there are the more strategic, okay, what's the brand narrative, what's the brand strategy, how can you create a brand identity, how do you connect this stuff with vision and mission. And so okay, now whenever you look at CMOs, right? Usually, usually CMO, and now I'm talking about, like, because you want to earn, right? And then the peak of a marketer's career is a CMO for a lot of people. Even though I mean that's not really true, because a lot of people, like, I wouldn't want to be that, maybe. So, and anyway, so for example, if you look at a CMO, right? So a CMO would be like, most CMOs have, you'll be able to find this exact trait. They're either very good at brand, they're either very good at communications, or they're very good at numbers. Since operations is new, I'm not sure if I've seen someone who's very good at who's that good at operations, but yes, they all are good at operations, and some are exceptionally well. I just haven't met a lot of those because it's a very new thing. Like, operations in general is very new in the digital world, so I haven't met them. So yeah, but that's that's basically what I'm talking about right now. How do you, so once you've picked something, then you can take any path, and it does not matter for a while. For example, if you say I'm going to do email marketing, great. So just start with writing emails, figuring out email workflows, and then start tying it back to the core marketing strategy. How are you able to do that? So, are you able to do that for conversion workflows? Are you able to do the same thing for uh, user onboarding? Are you able to then really track the results? Are you able to make changes based on that? And then become really good at it. And then whenever you want to switch, don't think too much about it. Keep switching your what you're doing. And this is, again, based on your personality type. If you like going deep in something, don't listen to me. If you're like me, you're a little erratic. Keep switching between things, and just explore, right? And then once you so that's basically the skill set. And then after a while, once you have grasp of one very tiny part of content, let's say you can now proudly and confidently say that, hey, I am pretty damn good at email marketing. What that means is, if I tell you that, hey, I want to increase my conversion workflows, you're able to have the goal conversation, you'll be able to speak with me, you'll be able to guide me to tell you exactly what the goals are, how am I judging them. You have that entire understanding of how to do that, and you're able to then create an implementation plan, implement it, and also teach it to someone if needed, right? And you know what to expect once you've done it, and you've run enough experiments in that. So that's when you're a master at that one particular skill thing. You know how, when you implement it here, what happens when you implement somewhere else, for example email workflows somewhere else, so what to expect and how the goals change when you do that, right? So that's when you become a master at that. And I have not seen a lot of marketers reach this place. Like, this is something that I have seen very few marketers reach.
So tell me one thing, Ishan. I think as you were telling me, the VP, CMOs are good at one thing only. So if they are good at one thing, then why are they CMO? Why are they VPs?
Oh, a CMO does not do marketing
No,
or should
not.
not do marketing. I'll
हाँ,
give you an example.
hmm,
So CMO's job is not marketing at all, and this was something I realized like not a very long time. Like, I just realized very recently, like over a year ago, is where someone told me this, and that's when it was like a eureka moment for me. CMOs don't do marketing. CMO's job is to work with their peers, and their peers is CFO, CRO. So what their job is
oh,
to actually coordinate between all these teams, all these verticals, and make sure that the VP of marketing has what they need, and the cross team collaboration is working, and then the VP of marketing handles marketing. CMO does not really handle, or should not really, at a
because
large enough
I think
organization.
even in India there are very few CMOs. One only that I know was Aman Gupta. That too, that came out on the show. But before that, we really don't know that CMO was there. We knew in America market there are
Mhm.
CMOs, but in India, I think very few of them or like none of them are. VP heads
Okay.
are there. So tell me one thing, Ishan, if
Mhm.
a person wanted to, at the end of the day, if one is working in a corporate life, he wanted to become at the end of the day VP of marketing or a function like that, right?
Mhm.
So if he is good at one thing, then why he's becoming a VP? Because there
Oh
are
no, so
other
no, no,
people.
no. So that's the first step. You become good at one thing, and you
Okay,
become very damn good at one thing.
okay,
Once you've become damn good at that one, let's see, let's pick the again. Let's continue with email marketing. Then you figure out, okay, how can I own the entire funnel? And you
okay,
start uh, creating an entire funnel out of it, right? For example, okay, where is the lead source now? You now start figuring out, okay, where's the traffic coming from, or can I do landing page optimization now? Before, if you're doing CRO for that, can I do landing page optimization for? If you're using emails for, let's say your strength is more in user onboarding, can I figure out UX now? And you find these complementary skills, and you keep building your skill set, and it takes a while. But you
hmm.
pick one thing, get damn good at it, and then expand like that, but also take some moonshots, like just not related to what you're doing, figure that out, and then slowly then connect things later on. But all of that happens naturally, but make sure you're always expanding. Now, I have seen very few marketers get good at the one thing. Then only a few marketers get good at the rest of it. Now, what happens when you start, and again, this is just based on what I have seen, but eventually you'll get good at a lot of stuff, and then you'll go back to the basics, and then you'll see that every single, like co- like the top marketers of the world, everyone's talking about buyers buying journey. Everyone's talking about all of that shit that we learned earlier, which was like, yeah, ये तो obvious hai. And this is so obvious. Why are you talking about this? This is not useful. If because you cannot implement it. Or buyer persona. Everyone is talking about buyer journey, buyer persona, all of that stuff, which just seems like hard. Yes, this is useful, but I won't spend a day doing that. Or like, I won't want to spend 2 days doing that. It's not productive. So what happens is, once you get good at a bunch of stuff, you're able to connect stuff to marketing strategy very well. Once you're able to connect things to market strategy, and you'll be able to then figure out, okay, when you now spend 1 day doing creating a buyer's journey, the level of impact that brings is going to just amplify a lot. And then you start doing things which aren't really considered core marketing things. Like, start speaking with salespeople, you start going to sales call recordings, you want to speak with customers, you'll want to do surveys and like analyze surveys, and you'll be able to slowly move to a more strategic thing function, right? And again, I'm not sure like when that happens, and I'm sure there are like different triggers for different people. I've just believed in having a great mentor, and that's how I have always been able to learn stuff. But everyone has their own path, but that's usually what happens. You learn, get good at one thing, get good at multiple things, then you move to marketing strategy and able to implement marketing strategy at at the entirety of marketing, right? Now if you really want to be good today, right, or you really want to, I'm not talking about the absolute geniuses, I'm not one of them. So if you really want to be really really good, what I figured out is figure out, okay, what is that one industry. Okay, so that's all of your marketing skill set. That alone is not very valuable. What is valuable is when you merge it with other stuff. Other
Right.
stuff is what's your industry knowledge, your connections, and all of that stuff. Now the easiest way is to niche down. So think of yourself as a business and niche down. So now, if you are only working in the B2B SaaS, you can ask me what's the CPC or cost per click in this region on this day for this industry, and I'll probably have a rough guess. And you can ask me, okay, what's going to be the conversion rate, and in my head, I'll be able to tell you what's the CAC in this industry, right? Now, it's not going to be accurate, but just having that information is such a superpower versus someone who does has
Right.
no idea whatsoever, right? It just
Right.
saves you so many experiments, and like it's just like too much value, right? So yeah, and so for me, I would also recommend sticking to an industry. Again, browse around, pick an industry, fall in love with it. In love meaning you can work in that for long periods of time without getting frustrated or bored. uh, Pick an industry, stay in it. My industry is B2B SaaS. My skill is analytics. Does not mean I cannot write. I can write. Does not mean I cannot design. I can design. uh, but my skill is analytics. So, and does not mean I cannot do operations. I can do operations, and I'm above average at a lot of these things, not all, right? So
So,
definitely.
Ishan, tell me one thing right now. You also know right now, service industry, SaaS industries, focusing more towards automating every function they can as soon as possible, right?
Okay.
So, right now, we think at down the line, marketing is also a function that could be automated after 4, 5 years or 6 years, also, right? Some functions. So, do you think of yourself like, say, for example, I'm coming from a commerce background. I have done my bachelor's in business administration.
Yep.
So, should I focus when I get this skill set that you were talking about, the analytics and all that part?
Hmm.
Should we more focus towards the coding part also? Because if we mix those things, that can bring miracles also, right?
Yeah. So
Because
okay. Don't.
we can save a good amount of money of employer also as well as for ourselves also, because
Okay.
we don't have to go around to other people to do
Mhm.
this thing. We can automatically do that part as well. And we
Is it
are that
valuable?
kind of person
Yes.
is marketing engineer that I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And these people, when I research about it, these are the top 1% person out there,
Mhm.
marketing engineers.
Okay. So is it valuable? Yes. Should you do it? Probably not. Right? Not everyone should do it. For example,
Hmm.
um, so the operations part of marketing that I told, right? That is the skill set that you're talking about. Automating
Hmm.
stuff is the operation, the fourth one that I told you about, right? So that is a part of the skill set, and yes, you have to be above average it by the time you above average at it. Should you focus on it? No, pick one of the four. Still, for example, are things going to be automated? A lot of it. Does it? Will it be a threat to anything that we do? Probably not.
No, I don't think threat is something.
Yeah.
Threat could be a bad word. I think this is something we can more focus on the creative term, right? Like, take for example, right now I'm
Yep.
coordinating with the sales or the marketing team. This thing
Hmm.
could be automated with the API or something like that.
Yep.
That they are working on that thing. So I think it could really help us in duplication of effort that we usually do,
Agreed. Yeah.
right? So should we be the person that we should grab this opportunity like this, or this simply depends upon the perspective of yourself?
It depends on which four of those do you want to make your super strength.
Okay,
If your super strength is operations, you have to be good at automation.
true.
Like that's so yeah. One or okay, not have to, but one of the one of the core sub skills is automation. For
Right.
example, debugging stuff, and that requires a lot of coding. For example, I can code. I was a full stack developer, right? So I
Uh,
can code when need be, or I can scrape things. I know how it technically works, but trying to do everything is not possible, right? So you again have to be, if you have to get to like a VP CMO thing at a very high org, above average at everything, but so, or at least three of the four, and then the actual skill set is in hiring. How well can you hire? How well can you define culture? How well can you maintain culture? How well can you manage people? How well can you coordinate with other departments? Then none of your marketing skill sets matter. That become like industry experience,
True.
because in the and your all your marketing skill sets that you will develop over the years are going to become secondary skills once you reach there, and then your primary skills is going to be team management, culture, and all of that stuff. So you're learning all of this to just to let it go if you want to get from that, is how I think about it.
So, Ishan, tell me one thing, just at a personal level. So, you connect
Yeah.
with so many people out there, right? So, don't you think I should start my own startup? I think I have an ample amount of knowledge and ample amount of skills. I should start my own startup.
um I don't know you that well, but I'll tell you, I have done both, right? I've done jobs. I
Because when
started.
we talk to people, na, we kind of make a hypothetical situation in our mind that this person has done this and he can do this, right?
Mhm.
And we try to compare it in our mind that if we do this, we can become this, right? Take for example, I connected with Karthik. Karthik is a person who is having 15 years of
Yep.
experience and right now he's a
Yep.
consultant, right?
Mhm.
So I think of my mind that that guy has done 15 experience. Maybe I can do it in 10 years, or maybe I can do it 11, or maybe I can do
Oh
it
yeah.
12 years.
No,
And I want to
you
be a
can do
that
it
kind of consultant.
faster.
Huh, yes. So
Huh.
it would be happening to you also, or is it like a person to person only? Because when we
So can
connect,
you
we
do it
can,
faster, or what?
like, what I meant to say is, do you think of yourself, if you connect with people, that you want to really want to do this thing? Because if I talk about myself, I think of myself that I want to really good at this profession, because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, job is some kind of a activity that you do 9 to 5, and there is much more than that that you can do really.
Okay, so I'll just sort of like comment on that, right? That depends on. Okay, job is just that there's a transaction where there's a company that pay you money for something. That's like what job means. But then there's a lot of other nuances to it, right? For example,
Right.
uh, in our company, Spear Growth, right?
Hmm.
Maybe because we're small, maybe, and we probably don't want to grow very big, right? I don't have any ambition of creating a large agency, like zero ambition. Do not want to do that. I just want to become a very, very good demand gen marketer. I want to become the best fucking demand gen marketer in B2B SaaS. Right? That's my ambition, right? Like the best,
It's
right?
totally the
So
amount of love you have, right? Sometimes you love Fortuner also, sometimes you love Ferrari also, right? It's all about whom you love, and you love to be a demand gen marketer, that to the top, right?
yeah, so that's what my, and I don't get bored of it. Now here's the kicker, right? So now that is true. Now starting a business is not the best way to do it. And I'll
Okay.
tell you why. Even though I started a business, it's not the best way to do it, because I spend a lot of my time on finance, on HR stuff. And if I was able to find a company that gave me this opportunity, I don't even care about the pay. If I had been able to find a company that gave me that opportunity to be able to do whatever I want and really run experiments, own a team that can help me implement it, right at that point of time, then that would be a better or a faster way to learn. Now, when you are
Right.
running a company, you have to spend at least 40, 50, 60% of your time doing other stuff, which means everyone on my team now, and because now we have that culture, everyone of in my team is learning marketing much faster than I am. So every one of them is going to become a better marketer than I am right now, which sucks because of my ambition, but it's also like obviously it's great to be surrounded by such people, right? So should you open a startup to become some of the best marketers there is? No. Should you maybe become, let's say, a consultant or something like that? Sure, I think that's a great approach, because then you don't have to spend so much time here. But remember, you will have to spend a lot of time on sales, branding, for
True.
yourself, and you still will have to spend a lot of time on the other stuff, it's still a business. You'll be spending at least 30% of your time doing other stuff. So if you really want to, and just by simple maths, right, 60% of time you run a business, you have to do other stuff at least. Like that's the least amount. As a consultant, at least 30 to 20 to 30%. So in a company, you can actually spend 100% of your time doing what you want. Now you just have to find a company that lets you do what you want in the structure that you want to. So just by plain math and logic, that works the best.
Hmm.
And
Got your point.
for example, right now, right, that's what I'm building. That's like Spear Growth is a company. Yes, we bring results. Yes, but it's actually an incubation hub to become a good marketer. Like literally, like if you look at our win messages, also a lot of them, hey, we won a client. This is the kind of team. This is what we can learn from them. That's literally the win message for a couple of clients. Hey, this is what we can learn from them. Or like we celebrate the fact that okay, this is one company we work with, SaaS company, amazing founder. We can be very good at marketing. They may not even know it. They're so good at what they do is they can just come in and they'll be like they'll suggest better things than what we could have even thought of. We're like, okay, how did they do it? And we're like deconstructing it. Or we're just speaking with someone. So there's a lot of stuff we can learn, but then again, that just becomes like what's the culture? But that also means that everyone here works a lot. So, okay, then what are you wanting to give up? But then you also have a lot of freedom. For example, there's something called Founders Office, which
Ah,
means you can work on any business function at all. There's a list that I'm putting out in Slack, which means you can work on, you want to go get insurance for all the employees. You can go and speak with companies, come up with a quote, and then approve it. You want to. So there's a lot of this stuff that my team members wanted, that okay, I want to work on business challenges, so we had to create that. So again, I'm not saying it may be a good thing for you, but yes, jobs can be a place where you learn a lot, and if you had to find the best thing, it would be a job, honestly. But finding that ideal job is like very difficult. So
very difficult. Right.
so yeah,
So,
please.
Ishan, when we talk about exploring these functions
I
like
have to drop
content,
off in 4 minutes, just if I
sure, sure.
yeah.
So, if you talk about exploring the function like analytics, content design,
Mhm.
so is it the way like that usually is by doing that you do something and you do in a job or a role or something like that, right? Or it should be a book. These are the two ways that I know, and one is certification. Are there any other ways also that you know of?
Yes. So none
Okay,
of these things are really fast enough.
okay,
Now there are two ways that are much faster than the four that you talk about,
okay,
right? One is very obvious, mentorship, right? So if you have a great mentor, you have a great manager, you can hire mentors, by the way. So I spend more than my like I've been spending a lot of money on mentorship since a couple of years now.
So from that thing, Nishan, so have you spent some money on Peak Community something?
Yeah, I'm on peak. Yeah, I'm on peak
You're on
since
Peak.
it started. Yeah. Uh,
Okay, okay.
uh,
So how is your experience? Because I was also planning for it. Sangram was also
yeah,
telling
yeah,
you should
definitely.
definitely join.
If this is a video we are somewhere, I'll drop a link as well, and I'll also invite you to it. Right. So peak is great, like absolutely amazing. If you want to connect to really advanced marketers,
Hmm.
right? But not if you want to connect. If you're starting in your career, it's not for beginner marketers to connect with their peers. If it's for advanced marketers to connect with their peers, and for
Okay,
beginner marketers, it's for you to connect with advanced marketers and see, okay, what is, if you want to just see, okay, what's the difference, right? Like between what I say and what they think, or what. So come up with a challenge. They'll take a session. Just go in the session and you have your own solution. Then compare with what they did, or
okay,
see how they talk. That's what I've seen help me a lot from peak, right? And then again, then there's a lot of networking, scheduled calls. That's the same in any community, right? Now, one is the mentorship thing, right? uh,
right.
you can hire mentors, you can pay for mentors, you can have mentors for free. Just know how to become a good mentee before you start paying someone or trying to reach out to people to become your mentor. There is a way to become a good mentee. Figure that
Okay,
out and then sort of reach out. The basics is whenever they ask you to do something, do a 10x better job than what they expected, report on it, whether they want it or not.
okay,
That's basically it. right? And attribute that, hey, I did this because you said this one line, and I did this entire, I implemented 10x, and I am actually grateful that you were able to tell me, because that's what you need. You don't need them for a lot of guidance. Okay, but how do I do it? Don't ask them how to do it. Figure it out. Right? That's basically how to be a good mentee. Now the second amazing approach is by looking at videos of people doing it or critiquing things, not teaching you how to do it. For example, you want to learn design, want to develop a design sense. There's about, I think, 18 or 20 hours of videos of some designers just critiquing work. Just spend a week, watch 40 hours of just critique videos. That's it, done. You probably have a better design sense at the end of a week. You don't need to spend 6 months doing the work, right? Again, same with copywriting, same with all of these micro skills. And over don't underestimate micro skills, right? Just really figure out, okay, what is the micro skill, let me just learn that. Don't try to see results fast, just look at the micro skills, learn every single micro skill, and that's it. Like, just focus on the micro skills, focus on the mindset, double down on the mindset. That's And then everything just comes together very
Okay.
beautifully.
So these are the two approaches that I can really use to explore these functions.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely will be using this thing. And thanks a lot, Ishan, for joining. Learned a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. This became like a really interesting session, even though it was like a random call. Yeah.
And that too, I actually, frankly speaking, I didn't learn about you. I know about your feeds that you usually come, and I really don't go through which college you are, like something like. Even I think you also didn't have gone through this, but it was
Yeah.
a really good call.
Yeah. Happy I can help. Cool.
So,
Hey, I have to
bye
jump.
bye, bye, Ishan.
Thank you so much. Is it okay if I publish this somewhere on YouTube or something?
Sure, not a problem. Sure, not a problem.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks,
Just
man.
tag me in.
Bye bye. Yeah,
Okay.
I will. I will. Yeah.
So
Done.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.